Hello guys, LaserBeast here, just with a quick guide for you. So today we're going to look at the Demonology Warlock Talents, and we're going to go through some builds and figure out some builds that'll do you for questing and soloing and leveling up, and then dungeons and then raiding, so single target and AoE fights. So first of all, we'll go straight into it and get a look at the talents and what they all mean. So looking at the first row of talents, these basically focus on your shard regeneration. So Shadow Inspiration tends to be the default choice for most builds because of its predictability. You know that every time you cast Demonic Empowerment, which is quite often, you're going to get an instant cast Shadow Bolt, therefore generate a shard. Shadow Flame is pretty decent, but the thing with Shadow Flame is you've got a lot going on in the Demonology spec already anyway, a lot to keep track of, so this adds another thing on top of your list and it can get pretty complicated because you need to keep this up all the time ideally to get the most use out of it. Demonic Calling is pretty good. It's secondary to Shadow Inspiration just because of its randomness. You know, sometimes it can be great, sometimes you may not get the procs that you need and it can fall behind. So the second tier focuses on your imps basically. It's all about the imps. So Doom, Impending Doom, so when Doom deals damage it summons an imp, which is pretty steady, you know. Again, it's like a guaranteed thing, which is not a bad choice. Improved Dreadstrokers, so that will summon 2 wild imps, which is pretty good for like the initial, when you're starting off a fight, you want as many demons in there as possible doing damage, and when you use your Demonic Empowerment, you know that you're powering up with more, you're getting a stronger army, and that's all good to go. And Implosion, so that's another, it's pretty good for AoE damage and kind of alright for single target damage too. So basically, the more imps you've got out, the more damage you're going to do because it sucks them all in and they all explode, hence the name, which is a cool ability and it's not a bad choice at all. So these next tier is basically utility and survivability. So obviously you've got your Demon Skin, which is again, just like all the other Warlock specs, pretty much the default choice. You've got Mortal Coil, pretty decent for soloing, questing, and you've got Shadow Fury, which is your stun. The next tier is pretty much just straight DPS increases, so the Hand of Gul'dan applies Doom to all enemies it hits. So this is fantastic in AoE situations and pretty decent save doom and dealing with 3+ enemies while you're out there questing and things like that. It just makes it easier, so it saves some global cooldowns casting Doom on every person. And obviously you don't have to keep refreshing Doom because Hand of Gul'dan, you cast it pretty often in your rotation anyway, so it's just constantly always up there. You can kind of forget about Doom. And Power Trip, this is pretty... tends to be the default choice. So again, every time you use Demonic Empowerment, you've got another chance to generate a soul shard. So you're going to get one anyway if you've got Shadow Inspiration and from the instant cast Shadow Bolt, and then you may get another one from Power Trip. And then you've got Soul Harvest, which is like your DPS cooldown basically. It's got a nice little interesting mechanic there where you can increase the time by 2 seconds for each target afflicted by your Doom, which is pretty decent. You can know, again, it's something to keep track of, but it can provide some pretty interesting gameplay there. And then the next tier is kind of like you movement, survivability, utility tier again. So you got Demonic Circle, which is obviously your teleport, Burning Rush, just helps you get out of all the shit basically. And you got Dark Pact, your big oh shit button basically, and that'll just save you from most damaging abilities. And then you've got your pet tier, so this focuses on your main pet basically. So you've got Supremacy, so you can summon a Doom Guard or Infernal. Service, which is generally the one that you go with, so you can summon an extra pet, so you can have 2 Fel Guards or whatever, and they'll, as soon as you summon the pet, it'll use an ability of its choice, whichever ability that pet has. And you've got Synergy, so this kind of passive, so it makes things a little bit easier, less to keep track of, just like Supremacy. But again, it's a little bit random, so obviously if you want that control over your spec, you'd go with one of the other ones. And then the last tier, again, is just pure DPS increases, so you've got Summon Darkglare, which is another pet that you're going to be using Demonic Empowerment with to get that empowered, and that just basically spams lasers all over the targets that you've got Doom on. So this is again perfect if you're questing, you've got like 1 to 3 mobs or whatever with Doom on them, you can summon this guy out, and again he's great in AoE situations and not bad in single target either. Demon Bolt is the cool ability, and this has a little mechanic where it'll increase its damage by 20% for each demon you have active. So again, if you could summon off get a good combination of talents and summon loads of imps together, you can have up to say like 10 imps at a time, so that's like, you know, 200% more damage from your Demon Bolt, which is pretty hectic and pretty fun at the same time. And then Soul Conduit, which is your good steady passive, and every shard you spend has a 20% chance to be refunded. So obviously you may cast a 4 shard Hand of Gul'dan, and you could have it just totally reset, and you could cast another one, so that's 4 imps times 2 out there straight away. So there you go. Pretty interesting mechanics with these talents, really. So first off, I'll show you the questing and leveling build. So this one has obviously got the passive Shadow Inspiration as the generator of the shards, and we know obviously you get the control. So cast demonic empowerment, boom, instant cast Shadow Bolt. You know it's going to be there every time you cast demonic empowerment. So we've got improved Dreadstalkers, so we now get 2 wild imps as well. So obviously it's just more pets up there. When you're fighting mobs, you don't need to have obviously perfect rotation. You just want to kill things as quick as possible and move on and get through your quests. So this is all good. And then you've got Demon Skin for a bit of survivability, Power Trip again, another passive, more shard regeneration, and you're good to go there. Then we've got Burning Rush, just because Warlocks don't have the best mobility ever, so if you're just running from, you know, to and from, say you're looting some quest items, you can just use this to move on a little bit quicker. We've got Grimoire Service, so say you want to just like smash down a pack of mobs, this is a 1.5 minute cooldown, so you can just get your Felguard in there, send him straight in, power him up, and he'll go in there and use his Whirlwind ability, and obviously you can just cleave down loads of mobs. And then we've got Summon Dark Glare, so again, you get Doom on everybody. So we cast Doom on all these guys. Don't actually have the ability on my bar. Summon Dark Glare, where are you? Boom, summon the Dark Glare, and there he is, and he'll go and just cast it on everybody that's got Doom on them. So there we go. Quite an easy build. Just obviously keep your focus on summoning your demons. Keep them up all the time on cooldown, and power them up as soon as they come out, and you'll be good to go. Alright, so here we've got our like dungeon and raiding like kind of single target spec. So nothing much has changed, apart from we've gone for improved Dreadstalkers just because it's more reliable. We know that every time we call the Dreadstalkers, there's going to be 2 imps on there, so we know we've got 4 demons up, and we've got Demon Skin again, Power Trip the same, Burning Rush the same. You could swap that out for Dark Pact if you know, progression encounters and things like that if you are struggling to stay alive. And we've got the Service because that's pretty good single target, and we've gone for Demon Bolt this time because this is good at like taking out priority ads and good at like, switching over to things that need to die right now. And I'll just show you the interaction with the imps there with how Demon Bolt actually works. So you notice this little bit here that says 100%. Sorry about that, it's just gone off. Just cast Doom on that. I'll just put my pet on, take the pet off passive. So you bug it. There you go. So this little bit there, it says 100%. This is the current power of my Demon Bolt. So if I just keep casting it, you know, so I've got full shards at the minute. So if I cast me Dreadstalkers first, go straight into a Demon Bolt, 4 shard Hand of Gul'dan, power them up. That's now doing 660% damage is the Demon Bolt there. So obviously if I was to then switch over to, say, a new ad that had spawned, I could blast that down. You can stack this pretty high. Let's just try and get it up quite high. Let's just keep it going. 655. So you see our imps are going to run out there. We've got 7, now we've got 3. So it's pretty tricky. So sometimes, obviously, if you've got loads of ads and you've got Doom dotted all over them, you can get really high numbers of this. You might be able to get 1 or 2 casts off of a big, fat, nasty Doom. But other than that, you're going to probably be, the max you're going to get is about 660%. See, just then it shot up to 750. I don't know if you saw that, but there we go. So yeah, that's the thing with that. You can also switch it up to Soul Conduit. So obviously, every Soul Shard has a 20% chance to be refunded. So that's obviously a little bit random, but Demon Bolt's got more control over it, but Soul Conduit's just as good for single target encounters. So let's switch over to the AoE build. Okay, so here we've got the AoE build, so we keep Shadow Inspiration the same because it's so reliable. We've got Implosion, so that's going to do a nice bit of burst AoE, and there's some nice interactions in this build because we've got just Demon Skin. Hand of Doom is going to apply Doom to all the targets that Hand of Gul'dan hits, which is pretty nice. It's dead easy to keep Doom going. You can literally take it off your bar. It'll just, because obviously the amount of times you cast Hand of Gul'dan is enough to keep it going and keep it ticking away. We've got Burn Rush again. Grimoire of Service because of the second Felguard. That's a lot of burst AoE when that goes in, and we've got Summon Dark Glare. So I'll just kind of show you. So with Implosion, really, basically what you want to do, I'm just going to drag that and pop that on there. What you want to do with Implosion is get as many imps as possible together, and then before they expire, get them sucked in and get them blown up. So if you kind of just keep them all together, there we go, you see them blow up for a nice bit of damage. Now with this, what you want to watch out for are the ticks that you get back of Doom, because every tick of Doom is going to give you a soul shard. So sometimes you probably will get like too many shards for your actual bar at the minute. It's just knowing when it's there. So we've got 10 imps, 9 imps there, so I'll just blow all them up. So big burst AoE obviously, and Doom's still rolling. So what you can do, you can summon your Infernal, you can send your other thingy in, your other Felguard in, make sure you power him up, and obviously you've got your Dark Glare in there as well that can damage everybody and just keep these guys getting blown up pretty much. This is your AoE build, and obviously, I mean, you can still go Soul Conduit if you wish, and obviously you may get some opportunities where you'll get like loads of shards back, and you can do another like 2 Hand of Gul'dans in a row. There we go, and basically just keep on blowing these guys up. So there we go. So guys, that's 3 builds for you there. The Demonology Toolkit is pretty cool, pretty nifty, some nice interactions going on. So have a little experiment yourself, see what builds you can come up with, and have fun. So guys, thanks very much for watching. Like I say in the start of the video, I'll do some actual DPS guides in Legion when everything's out, when the artifacts are out, when I've done some testing and whatnot. And I'll hopefully catch you then. So thanks for watching. I've been LaserBeast, and I'll see you next time. Take care.